Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Money Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Laura Adams. My mission is to help 100 million people learn more about money and get inspired to live rich and love the journey. I work as a speaker, spokesperson, and content creator to advance financial education. To learn more about me and download 2 free chapters from my award-winning book, Money Girls Smart Moves to Grow Rich, visit lauradadams.com. If you have credit cards, you've probably been receiving new ones in the mail that look a little different than the old ones. I'm looking at my new Amex right now, and it looks the same as the old one, except it has a gold sort of box or chip on the left side of the card. The reason for the makeover is that there's a major change rolling out this year that requires every customer's card to have its own embedded microchip. In this episode, I'll give an overview of the new chip technology, tell you how it affects the way you can use your card, and whether it will really keep you safe from fraud. When I was doing research for this show, I was a little surprised to find out that the United States has had the most credit card fraud in the world over the last 5 years. We only make up about a quarter of all credit card sales, but we're responsible for nearly 50% of fraud worldwide. Not good. One of the reasons we get hacked is because our credit card processing technology is a dinosaur compared to other countries. The problem with old school magnetic stripe cards that we've been using is that they contain static data that can be easily cloned. Some of these huge retail scandals that we've seen, like at Target, have shined a really bright light on our vulnerability and put a lot of pressure on the card industry to make sweeping changes, and fast. Thankfully, the hammer is coming down this year, and the United States payment system is going to be forced to take a big step forward. What's happening is that as of October 1st, 2015, the new global standard for credit cards is called EMV, which is short for its developers, Europay, MasterCard, and Visa. It's a much more secure system that uses a computer chip to transmit your information. EMV-enabled credit cards are known as chip cards or smart cards, and they've actually been around since 2002. EMV technology is already being used in over 130 countries, such as in Europe, Asia, and South America, to help prevent fraud. Unlike the old magnetic stripe cards, chip cards use a new encryption for every single sale. They transmit a variable algorithm with each transaction that's much more resistant to fraud. And that's kind of a fancy way of saying that these chip cards use a unique process that determines if the card is authentic, which makes it more difficult to counterfeit or copy. The reason it's taken the United States so long to join the smart card party is because it's expensive. Both the credit card issuers and merchants have a lot of investment, so the issuers have to produce new cards that are a lot more expensive, and merchants have to buy upgraded equipment. However, what's interesting is that there's a huge incentive for merchants to make the investment in EMV-enabled terminals that can read smart cards. So, with the pre-EMV system, credit card issuers bear the burden of fraudulent charges. But after October 1st, if a merchant does not have a smart card terminal, they'll be liable for fraud, not the issuer. Merchants have 2 options. They can either upgrade their system and eliminate risk, or they can use their old terminal and be on the hook if someone pays with a lost or stolen credit card. So issuers are furiously producing and mailing out millions of chip cards, and merchants are getting bombarded with the new rules and offers to purchase EMV-compliant equipment. As I mentioned, you'll be receiving new credit cards in the mail, and you'll see new types of terminals in stores. Large retailers will be the first to adopt them, and then smaller merchants will get on board over the next few years. Most of the new credit cards will incorporate multiple technologies. You're going to see a traditional magnetic stripe. There'll be a contact EMV chip and a contactless NFC chip that's built in. Here's how they work. So if you have a magnetic stripe on your card, that's going to continue to work the same way they always have when you see a merchant that has not upgraded to a chip-enabled terminal. So if they don't have a new terminal, you'll just swipe it like you always have, and it'll process your payment the exact same way. If you go to a merchant with an upgraded terminal, that's going to require you to insert your card chip side up into the terminal, and you're going to leave it there throughout the whole transaction while you follow some on-screen prompts. The chip adds a unique one-time code that gives you extra protection. Some of your cards will also have NFC chip technology. That stands for Near Field Communication, and that allows you to wave your card close to a terminal reader without actually having to make contact with it. This technology is the magic behind products like Apple Pay and Google Wallet. So if your card also has an EMV chip, it will still create a unique code, giving you extra security at checkout even if you use the contactless process. To complete your transaction, you'll typically have to sign. Eventually, we'll catch up with other countries that use chip and PIN technology primarily, and that's safer because it requires a personal identification number, just like you have to enter today when you make a debit card purchase. Having a more secure in-store shopping experience is great. But what about using chip cards for online purchases? Well, unfortunately, using an EMV chip card doesn't make online fraud go away. In fact, it could get worse as criminals are shut out of common counterfeit scams like skimming and cloning physical cards to make purchases. So you still need to monitor your financial accounts on a consistent basis to spot and report fraudulent activity right away. Also, keep an eye on your credit accounts using free services like annualcreditreport.com. The bottom line is that the new EMV cards won't eliminate fraud completely, but it really has reduced it in the countries that are already using it. That's because they offer new layers of security that are much safer than the magnetic stripe cards we've been using. And another benefit is that you'll be able to use your chip cards more widely when traveling overseas because international merchants prefer them. I hope this information will help you understand more about your new cards. Please email me if you have questions about your credit cards. And if you're looking for resources and tools that I recommend for just about every area of your financial life, check out my tools page at lauradadams.com or go directly to lauradadams.com/tools. You'll find over 40 of the best products and services that will help you earn more, save more, be more productive, and accomplish a lot more with your money. Thanks to everyone who submitted a show review in iTunes. That helps the podcast get visibility so new listeners can find it, and I can help more people get the financial information they need. So if you're getting value from the show, and I really hope that you are, please take a moment to submit a quick 5-star review in iTunes. I'm so glad you're listening. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. Cha-ching! That's all for now. I'll talk to you next week, courtesy of Money Girl, your guide to a richer life.